Okay, so I think we're recording. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. I'm Mr. Shields. This is my 6th hour LA2 class. We're actually missing a couple students, so we're extra small today, but that's all right. All right, so thank you guys for doing this. I appreciate you letting me record you, first of all. We're going to talk a little bit today about our next unit and what we're going to be doing with the rest of this month. We just finished up our mythology unit, so we're going to start, since February is National Poetry Month, start going over some poetry. I know you guys are super stoked for that. Bob, you look really excited. We're going to be doing different things, reading different poems from different authors. I'm going to teach you guys, walk you through how to read a poem. We're going to do some like author studies, maybe like why poets wrote what they wrote, how they wrote what they wrote. We're also going to talk about different rhyming schemes and things like that. But first, I want to know what you guys already know about poetry. So I know I just started the video, but I'm probably going to pause it, have you guys do a graphic organizer kind of thing as a group, and then we're going to start again for a class discussion. But what I want you to do right now, and I'm going to split you guys up into two, I guess, with a partner, is give me a list of at least 10 things that you already know about poetry. So this can be authors, it can be types of poems, it can be actual poems, it can be collected works of poems, just anything that you can think of that reminds you of some kind of poetry or that you think ties into poetry. All right? Okay. Got it? All right, I'm going to pause the video real quick. Okay. So you guys have brainstormed a couple things that you do know about poetry just off the top of your head. I want you guys to look over each other's and kind of categorize some of the ideas you have written down. So like a category, for example, could be poets. How many of you guys wrote down names of poets? Okay. Who'd you write, Joey? I saw your hand first. Let me make a list on the board real quick. Hold on. Who'd you write? Poe. Perfect. One of the most famous poets. Do you know anything he's written? Or what kind of writing Poe did?
I know his was more closer to like dark and death.
Right, kind of gothic-y maybe. Romantic.
Better word for that.
Poe, so yeah, he wrote a lot of like gothic literature, a lot of dark stuff. Like what poem? Does anyone have any, can name any Poe poems?
The Raven.
The Raven, right? The Raven's pretty dark. So we're going to put that under poems. So we have The Raven and Poe. What other poets did you guys have?
Frost.
Robert Frost, yes. And what did you have that he wrote? You said it was your favorite poem?
The Road Less Traveled.
Road Less Traveled, poem by Robert Frost. Who else do we have? I had to force you to write it. Shakespeare, like the most famous poet ever. Can any of you guys name Shakespeare's poems? Any of his poems? A lot of them are just, this is kind of a hard question. They're just sonnets, numbered sonnets. There's some that might have titles. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Can you name any non-poems that Shakespeare has written? Oh, come on. Romeo and Juliet's one. That's all right. Maybe, I don't have them too. Hamlet. Okay, I'm not writing any of those down, but yeah, those are written by Shakespeare. Who else? Do you have any other poets that we wrote down? No one? Have you guys heard, can you think of any female poets? No? Okay, that's good. That's a decent list. That's 3 good ones. That's all right. What about poems? Did any of you guys write down any poems that you know? We have yours, The Road Less Traveled, The Raven. Any other ones? That's good. That's okay.
I
Because when we do read them, they're going to be new to you, and you guys are like, oh man, I wish I discovered this earlier, right? Right, Bob? Yeah.
I don't know if it's a poem itself. I know it's a book about poems, but Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Where the Sidewalk Ends. Shel Silverstein? Yeah, so we'll put, yeah, he's a poet. Shel over here.
I could not think of his name.
Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends. One of my other classes, Dr. Seuss. He's a poet, right? He's got a very serious rhyme scheme. Can any of you, what is Dr. Seuss written? Cat in the Hat. Perfect. Yes. Also perfect. What else did you guys talk about? So we have poets, poems, what else?
Things used in poetry. So
Okay.
alliteration.
Alliteration, yes. Used in poetry. Alliteration, which is... I said it earlier, you remember?
Use of the same letter, like each word starts with the same letter.
Right, so snake slithers slowly is an alliteration that has that sound. Right? What else is used in poetry?
Onomatopoeias.
Onomatopoeia, you're going to have to spell that for me.
Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia, which is... You looked it up. I know you did.
I know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. It's like
Sound
boom.
words.
It's a word that sounds like the spelling.
You're spelling a sound.
Your spelling sound.
Boom.
Yes. Boom.
Snap. Wow.
Yeah. All the
Have you
onomatopoeias.
never watched Batman?
What else did we have written down?
Haiku.
Okay, that's a type of poem. So there are different types of poems. Haiku. What other types of poems are there?
There are many types. There's rhyme schemes.
So we have different rhyme schemes. That's another rhyme schemes. So what's a rhyme scheme that's super popular?
A, B, A, B.
Yeah. A, B, A, B. What else? I mean, really, anything. A, B, B, A, A, B, C, A, B, C. Right? Anything else that you guys written down that we can't put in our list up here? Have we said everything on your list? What about your guys' list? Have we said everything on it?
What is that called when it's one letter spell something and the next letter it's one word that you make a sentence out of?
One word that you make a
So like
sentence
usually
out
like
of.
elementary they'll be like take your name and
Uh-huh.
write adjectives about yourself.
I don't know what you're talking
I don't know what you're talking about.
about. Dumb?
So it'd be like Joey.
So like
The O was outgoing.
Oh, so like
What are those called?
shields, I would say the S is for super cool, right?
Yeah, stuff like that. What are those called?
I don't know.
name, I'll look it up.
I'm not sure. We're gonna have Mrs. Price look it up for us. So yeah, all these things you guys mentioned are hopefully things that we will cover. We're definitely gonna read Poe. This week you guys are gonna actually read some Frost and Shakespeare. Probably not gonna cover Shel or Dr. Seuss, but that's more your guys' era poets, right? We're actually not gonna read The Raven, but we are gonna read a poem called Annabelle Lee, which is super good. It's probably my favorite Poe poem. The Road Less Traveled, that is not the Frost poem we're gonna read, but I might have you guys bring in your own poems. And so you could bring in that one if you really wanted the class to read it. Again, we're not going to cover Shel or Dr. Seuss. But we're definitely going to talk a lot about these things, like alliteration and onomatopoeias. We're also going to talk about imagery used in poems. We're going to talk about rhyme scheme and how the poem is written and how it's written should sound when you read it. So a lot of times there are big spaces in between poems. Or they're like dash lines or commas that affect how the poem sounds when you read it. And we're definitely going to go over all the different types of poems, like haikus. Help me out. What other ones? The rhyme schemes like ABBA, sonnets. What's it called when you use the poem to make a shape? Shape poetry, blackout poetry, things like that. But first, we are going to look at a little introduction PowerPoint that I'm not going to record, and you're going to have to take notes on that. Sounds awesome, right? Okay, Bob shook his head no. That's all right, Bob. It won't be that bad. So I'm going to end the video right now. Thank you guys again for letting me record you. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I can get a good grade on it. We'll see. Get some good feedback. I'm going to end it right now.